Hey, what's up YouTube? Got another video from my collection of bodybuilding mags and books. This is from George Spellwin. It's about testosterone cycles. It's actually from 2016, so it's not really that old, but it has actually got some outdated info, which is kind of interesting. But first I wanted to ask you to please like, share, and subscribe to help me grow this channel. And my disclaimer for the video, that this is just for educational purposes and entertainment. We do not condone the use of any of these products. Do not try this at home, kids. So yeah, it also includes a little bit of information about testosterone cycle specifically. So testosterone is a blend of testosterone that we'll get into that a little bit later. It actually has a section where they talk about that. So this video we're going to cover the first 11 pages describing testosterone. So this table of contents starts out talking about, so you're ready to finally start your first cycle, but you're not quite sure how to get started. And then it goes into the secret of designing perfect anabolic steroid cycles. Testosterone, the Mac Daddy of anabolic steroids, how to safely use it to explode. And then it goes into a little bit about free testosterone, total testosterone, oral steroids versus injectables, everything you need to understand about the top 5 different forms of testosterone. I'm going to go into some esters and understanding the difference between the esters, the fast-acting and slow-acting. And so here we go. Yeah. So you're finally ready for the perfect body that you can only get from a well-designed steroid cycle, but you're not quite sure how to get started. Let me ask you a few questions. Are you fed up with working hard in the gym and not making progress? Do you watch what you eat and still aren't getting the results you want? Do you look at the guys in the fitness and bodybuilding magazines and wish you could look like them? Are you considering or have you ever used steroids? Would you like to try a steroid cycle but are not sure what will get you the best results? And have you done a few cycles and still don't have the physique you want? So, you're not alone. Training and dieting hard are only half the battle. Most of these guys get their info from out-of-date books. Worse still, they just tell you to do what they do with no thought to how or why the steroids work. The secret to designing a perfect anabolic steroid cycle by harnessing the power of steroid half-lives and steroid esterification. The aim of this report is to open your eyes to the correct way of cycling anabolic steroids by introducing you to something called steroid half-lives and steroid esterification. Half-lives and esterification are arguably the most important things to consider when you are planning a steroid cycle if you want to safely get the awesome muscularity that we all want. Building as much muscle as you want every single time you cycle, melting your body fat like a nuclear furnace, minimizing unwanted side effects, designing the ultimate cycle with whatever steroids you use or can get, getting the best possible gains from your cycles, and keeping your gains after the cycle is finished. Which we now know that a lot of that is just not true and accurate, right? So turn off your phone, shut the door, tune out any other distractions, and prepare to discover how to transform your body from zero to superhero faster than you could ever possibly believe. Then he talks about teaching us how to inject painlessly, and using the Z-Track method to maximize steroid availability for muscle growth and minimize waste. So back then, they used to use 1.5-inch 22-gauge needles to inject. That's what everybody was being told to use. And it was pretty painful. And then the Z-Track method is just where you pull the skin to the side, and then you stick the needle in, and then you let go of the skin, inject, and then when you pull the needle out, the skin slides back, and it's supposed to like seal the hole so the holes don't line up from your skin to the muscle and the muscle fascia, so it doesn't leak, supposedly. As far as I know, it's never been proven. to really make a difference. And then another thing down here, he goes into about anabolism and androgenic, simply meaning that anabolism is more muscle growth, promoting muscle growth. Androgenic is facial hair, male characteristics. And back then, the guys actually thought that the anabolics were safer, less side effects, and so guys really lean towards things like Deca and Primo, Anavar, obviously, but a lot of the bodybuilders didn't use a lot of testosterone back in the 70s and the 80s, and I think it's because of that. Next page talks about what it's like to have more testosterone in your body, greater protein synthesis, increased blood volume, improved retention of nitrogen, improved rate of recovery, increased strength, enhanced phosphocreatine production, elevated oxygen concentration in the blood, reduced catabolism, reduced ability to store fat, enhanced ability to burn fat, improved insulin sensitivity, increased mental focus and motivation, and increased sexual desire. Now, all of those look pretty accurate. Then they talk about gladiators in ancient Rome eating bull's testicles to help improve performance and strength, horny goatweed, tribulus, and about using something to prime your testosterone before your cycle, get as much as humanly possible, and then to use it post-cycle to restore your test levels. So yeah, come to find out, they're actually trying to sell you something through this thing, which is normal as far as I'm concerned with bodybuilding publications. There's always something they're trying to sell you. Then they go down into the lower part of the page talking about orals and toxicity, methylated, and just not good for your liver. So yeah, some of this is accurate and some of this is not. The one single best anabolic steroid. You heard it, test is best, everybody says it. It's versatile, it's best for muscle and strength gains per milliliter or milligram is what I think he meant. Best value for your money. It's widely available. It's not liver toxic. Talks about injecting into the glutes, delts, quads. It's longer lifespan in the body than oral steroids. Not toxic either. Then it talks about the esters and basically how the ester determines how long the steroid remains active in your body. Those esters would be cypionate, enanthate, propionate, and then suspension, which is a no ester. There's no time on it. It goes into effect immediately and it goes out immediately. And then you got Cecidon 250, which is kind of a blend of fast acting, mid acting, and then slow acting. And again, about halfway down the page, we've got the shameless plug for the Ultimate Steroid Cycles Master Course. It's a 5-week course that this guy offers several times a year. I don't know how you could teach steroids for 5 weeks, but whatever. Then they go into timing shots based on ester, which back in the 80s, they really pushed the ester thing. So just an example, like if you could get available to you 5 Sustanon shots and 5 Deca shots. They used to get preloads, so it was in the syringe. You would alternate. So 1 week you would take the Sustanon or the Deca. Actually, I would probably start with the Deca because it's a slower acting. And then the next week you hit the Sustanon. Then the next week you go back to the Deca. Then the next week you go back to the Sustanon. So with those 5 syringes of each one, you could get a 10-week cycle out of that. And then, because of the esters, it's going to carry you over to 14 or 15 weeks before that stuff's out of your system. You're going to still feel it. So yeah, esters, I mean, we're important not the only thing, but yeah, they really did pay attention to the esters back in those days. So in conclusion, all the chatter surrounding the potency of various steroids like testosterone cypionate, sustanon, omidrin, etc. certainly makes for interesting conversation, but realistically, it just amounts to misinformation that you are better off ignoring. Testosterone is testosterone, and anyone who is going to tell you one ester form of this or any hormone is much better than another one should do a little more research and a lot less talking. So that's it for this first section. I'll get into the next coming sections and see what this guy has to say. Yeah, see you guys later.